Hello, hello. Jumping on today because I've been feeling just wanting to connect and say hello, and I just feel like there's so many things that I want to talk about, but I don't even know where I want to start. So I'm actually going to try out something new, and for all of you guys jumping on, I would love for you to just drop a hello in the chat so I can see who's here. I want to try something new because, like I said, I have so many things that are just on the surface that I want to talk about, and so many deep conversations that have been coming through with my coaching clients lately that I want to share with you here and continue to just hold space for just so much learning and being able to channel. But I want to leave it up to fate, and I want to leave it up to kind of the angels to decide what we get to talk about today. So I have my tarot cards here, and these are my favorite tarot cards. They were gifted to me by my best friend, and they had like literally my puppy is like chewed on the booklet and everything, but I just love this love this booklet. And say hello when you're jumping on. I'm seeing a few people on here, but I can't see who. But I want to tap into what gets to be this message in this reading for today. What is the reading for today? What is the card for today? The card for today's conversation is the Chariot. And you can see here the Chariot card has two horses, one black, one white contrast, and this like dust behind it. So we're gonna pull up the Chariot card. And also I'd love to know, just for all of you in my community, drop a yes if you are also into tarot reading, and if this is something that you've started to kind of explore and navigate, and if you love reading tarot. I love it. I think it's a great way to just kind of like bring in new perspectives and give really new ways to be able to see how things are showing up in your life that maybe you haven't been seeing before. So we're going to talk about the Chariot card today. The Chariot card represents triumph over difficulties, struggles and battles with a positive outcome. So good. It says the Chariot suggests a state of inner conflict. The fact that the Charioteer is clearly having trouble keeping his horses in control is an indication that his feelings are in opposition. He needs to steer a middle course, but that isn't easy. This may translate into something simple. For instance, one part of you wants to relax while the other part of you wants to get on with the task. This leads to an internal battle, the outcome of which is often that neither side achieves a satisfactory result. Oh my God, we're gonna have such a great conversation on this. This card could also mean that there are conflicts and struggles between you and those around you. An element of compromise may be necessary, whether the dispute is internal or external. The Chariot is a passionate card. It suggests that your feeling of desire is inflamed. A sense of calm and balance is needed to create a place of stability. And hi, Sophia. Yay. She says she's into oracle cards. So this Chariot card is just so beautiful. This is actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, was this feeling of what happens when we get into this anxious energy in relationships, right? And I've been hearing and having women come to me and reflect back to me that there's a lot of times they can feel really anxious and feeling like they are being pulled in two different directions when it comes to a new man in their life and someone that they want to be able to really move forward on a relationship with, right? And a lot of times this internal pull is the pull between the masculine and the feminine energy, okay? So we as women, a lot of times we're fighting this constant push or pull to be in that overdrive of the masculine energy, right? So we have a man in front of us. He's like lighting up all the things inside of us. We're like, oh my God, he's so great, right? And part of us is feeling like, if I don't control this, I could lose this guy, right? And drop a 1 in the comments if this has ever been you. Where you're feeling like, I have found someone that could be really a beautiful potential, and I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to lose this, right? So what happens is that we get into this place of feeling like our masculine wants to come in and our mind wants to come in and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just take this like we do everything else, right? We're going to come up with a project plan. We're going to make sure that we have X, Y, Z in order. We're going to make sure that we're moving this relationship forward so that we can feel in control and that we can feel like we're not messing this up, right? But then sometimes we get into this push-pull dynamic where we start to lean into that energy and we start to initiate phone calls, and maybe we start to start getting into our head about thinking, overthinking text messages, overthinking his actions, overthinking what does this mean? And next thing we know, he's drifting away and he's starting to kind of pull away from us. And so we keep leaning forward into that energy, right? But then there's this other part of us that's this contrast. And this is totally the Charioteer, right? Of these two horses going these two different directions. And we're trying to manage these energies of this masculine and feminine, being like, how do I hold on and manage this straight path to getting to what I really want? And so this other horse is this beautiful feminine energy, which is your inner self, right? And this is the beautiful thing. And this is what I love sharing and helping women to understand, is that being in your feminine energy is not anything different. It's not about changing who you are. It's not about becoming a different version of you. It's about just allowing this other side of you to come forward, okay? And so if you've been this charioteer and you've had this one horse, this masculine energy horse, just pulling you off in this direction, it can often really make us feel really out of alignment with our higher self, right? And this can also be seen as like the mind being that horse and the heart being the other horse, right? Where we're constantly having this conflict and this battle between head and heart, right? The head saying, don't let him slip away, and you better make sure that you've got plans with him secured, otherwise he may lose interest, right? And how are you going to continue to move this forward, and what is he thinking about, right? And then the other side of you is saying, God, I don't like this side of myself. This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right. I feel anxious. I don't feel like I can just be me. Why is it that I have to work so hard to get him to stick around, right? Why can't it just be easy? Why can't he just see me who I am, like all my girlfriends see me, or like my family sees me? Why do I have to put on all this show? Why do I have to put on all this hustle and this effort to get this relationship to stick around? And comment below if these things are hitting home for you ladies. And so it's this constant battle of head and heart, or masculine and feminine. And this is where we really have to just come back into that place of understanding, of recognizing what it is that's really happening here and what it is that's really going on right now. And what it is that's going on is that you are not this or this, right? You are the charioteer. You are the one in the center that gets to gently hold on to the reins of both sides of yourself and both energies that you get to play in, right? But we tend to, a lot of times, if we haven't ever explored this other part of our energy, of the feminine energy, we tend to give more focus and attention to the masculine energy, to the dark horse, right? Because that's all we know and that's what we feel comfortable with. But when we can actually bring in the feminine and we can really let ourselves actually lean into this kind of energy, it allows us to stay on course. It allows us to be able to play into both energies and actually have a very steady, consistent, smooth ride, right? I love this analogy so much. And I want to talk about this, why it is that we get into these places of anxiety and stress within us, because this is so important to be able to have awareness around, right? So much of this work is about awareness, of recognizing, why is it that life is unfolding for me in these ways, right? And what can I do? How can I feel more in control within myself so that I can shift parts of myself that can then ripple out into external shifts in my reality, right? So a lot of times we get into this place of this anxiety and this just feeling of tension when we get into a new relationship, because there is a deeper fear underneath there that is making us feel uncomfortable to just rest and to just be and to just lean back, right? And to detach. And this is something that I've been just playing with so much lately as well, in other areas of life, of just really leaning into detachment and leaning into this place of trust and surrender, and knowing that if I already had everything that I wanted and everything that I desired, how would that allow me to show up in my presence, right? And in my everyday life? If I knew that I had the man of my dreams, and I'm going to say this to you guys, right? If you knew that you had the man of your dreams and he was already on his way to you and he was already coming, how would that allow you to show up in every interaction with the men that you're dating, right? How would that actually shift the way that you may be showing up right now in the ways that you're dating, right? A lot of times I had a woman say to me, you know, I feel like if I don't lean forward and if I don't kind of keep managing things, that he's going to reject me or that he's going to lose interest, right? And my reflection back is, if that's how we're approaching and that's how we're showing up in our energy, then that's a very needy energy. There's an underlying fear of rejection, and there's an underlying fear that you're not good enough just by being you, right? And if we're coming into a relationship with that kind of fear underneath, doesn't matter how cool and put together you are on the surface, he's going to feel that energy underneath. But when we can get to a place of detaching from that fear, letting go of that fear, recognizing that that fear is not even real, right? It's like, if I really knew that I was enough, and that if he wasn't wanting to put in the effort to come forward and to make time to see me, and if I let go of the oars, right, then obviously this man is not right for me. Because do you really want to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't actually want to put in the effort to come forward? Or do you want to be with someone that actually does allow you to rest into being you, and accepts you and loves you and appreciates you just for you being you without needing to do anything? And this comes into the second deeper question that comes underneath all of this, right? This is the kicker, is, am I actually good enough without having to do anything? Right? Am I actually enough to be loved without needing to try and control the relationship, without needing to hold on so tight to my desire? Am I enough to just trust and know that the universe has heard what I want and it's orchestrating what needs to come forward, and the only thing I need to do is just show up in that brilliance and that radiance of myself? These are the deeper questions. This is the beauty of self-work, right? This is the constant reminder to check yourself and to check your energy and to be really assessing, am I allowing myself to get steered off course in my chariot based on fear, right? So much, I feel like, of personal growth work comes down to really eliminating those fears and slaying through those fears and just clearing through those fears. And even in this reading here, it's talking about, let me pull it up again. Oh, of course, now I can't find it. And drop some comments, drop anything you want me to kind of elaborate on even more as we're talking about this, if you have questions about everything I'm sharing here. Oh, of course I can't find it right now. Oh, here it is. Okay. It says, the Chariot is a passionate card. It suggests that your feeling of desire is inflamed and a sense of calm and balance is needed to create a state of stability. So in these moments when it just feels like, oh, I want this desire so bad, right? I just want this. I'm craving this so bad. And there's no amount of me just being able to be like, man, detach, I'm going to let it all be. It's all fine, right? It's all fine and dandy to say that. But to actually let that go when you have such an inflamed desire for something is really, really hard. And I know that. But also recognizing that when we put out that desire and we want it so much and we lean into that masculine to try and hold on to it and just like, we end up suffocating it, right? We end up getting into this place of like, oh, right? Like, why won't it come? And then what happens is we end up adding in resistance on the path to actually receive it. Whereas if we really do get back into that place of stability within ourself, right? Stability in knowing that security and just grounded. I am enough. I am radiant. I am magnetic. I am calling this forward to me. Then that's when we are releasing the resistance and we're releasing all the things that is keeping us from actually receiving that in, right? So that's what I wanted to just drop in here for today. I also have been really excited. I've got a couple fun things up my sleeve. This week I've just been really giving myself some time to recharge and reconnect and go deep into really cultivating in some new offerings and some new things that I'm going to be sharing inside of this group. So stay tuned for that. I also wanted to let you know I have just revamped my free training. So if you have not yet attended my free training, I have a brand new free training that I am so excited to be sharing with all of you. It's called How Ambitious Women I don't even remember what I called it. I don't even remember what I called it. I'm going to link the link below. This is a really, really powerful training though. It's about, here it is. I like put some specific title on it. How ambitious women attract high quality men without dimming their shine or sacrificing their power. That's the name of this training. It just escaped me for a second because I've been so in it. But this training is walking you through exactly how to navigate through exactly what I'm talking about here, right? And talking about the secrets that really high value women are able to connect into within themselves that keep them in that high vibe state to connect with high vibration men, right? Because a lot of times it's our energy, it's this underlying anxiety, it's this underlying masculine energy that's keeping us in that place of resistance from calling in what we want. And so I'm going to be talking really in depth about how women of high vibration, high ambitious caliber women are able to call in high quality men without dimming their shine or sacrificing their power. So if that's something that you want to check out, I'm going to leave the link here below. You can take a look at that. And I also wanted to share with you, I think you guys saw my post earlier, but these beautiful roses, these are just like the most gorgeous roses. Oh my gosh, they smell amazing. I'm putting them on my desk, and like you saw in my post earlier, I bought these for myself because I just felt like I really wanted to honor myself on Valentine's Day. And it wasn't about needing expectations from my man to make me feel good about myself. It was a recognition of like, I feel so freaking good about myself. I love myself so much, and I want to honor me, right? I want to actually own and just celebrate the woman that I am and the woman I'm continuing to step into being. It's a really good feeling, really good feeling. So anyways, that's gonna wrap up for today, my loves. And DM me if this is something that you wanna talk about deeper. I'm always happy to hop on a quick call and kind of chat further and see how I can really support you in clearing through these fears and tapping into that feminine radiance. So talk with you all soon, my loves. Mwah.